reasons I wanted Mari and Abigail to talk a little bit about their partnership. Abigail, you're leading the charge here then.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what does that mean for you?
Yeah, I think we all want to elevate ourselves and elevate our business, and I felt like Mari could help me do that. I think partnership is really the way to go if you want to get to where you want to quicker. I think that's what our main initiative was. You know, it's hard to find a team, hard to find someone that you can really see yourself in, and I found that in Mari. So I think we should all be expanding to different locations and finding our people. I think communities, Keller Williams communities can really help you do that too, so.
And I would not have been able to find Abigail had I not been a part of YP. There's a lot of YPers in here and I love them, and it's been really great to grow my just attention to this area that I never even saw before. So I think a lot can happen in a year. What we've all done in a year has been tremendous, and I'm really excited for this next upcoming.
Me too. Me too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys. I know that's coming up in front. It's not always. You guys, not only are we excited about their expansion here, gives us a nice spotlight, but I wanted to share Mari's contact information out in Madison. I know certainly that when we're talking about Milwaukee is Wisconsin's a big state with a small town feel, and there are a lot of people who move from Milwaukee to Madison and back and forth. Mari's a great referral partner for your Madison business if you choose not to spend the time driving and showing and all that good stuff. You know that your referrals would be in really, really good hands if you need somebody to represent in the Madison area. So always looking for ways to build our business and leverage your time, and who you know makes a difference, right? The world is run by those who show up. So thank you for coming out here today, Mari. Thanks for your partnership. Okay. Woo, we got never, ever, ever get an Apple Watch. If you do, figure out how to turn it off, because thank you. My tech skills are growing every day. I love it. We are going to dive into our mission moment. And today we're going to highlight the month, you guys. Last week we had the opportunity to talk a little bit about some of the communities that are popping up in the KW Milwaukee area. And this week, February launches Black History Month. One of the communities that we talked about is a homegrown Keller Williams Milwaukee community called For the Culture. And these come into play together because so much is happening on the local level that I just want to highlight this for everybody so we understand what is happening and how we can be a part of it and support our agents who are looking to grow opportunity for people in the area. Okay. So it is part of my job. We talk about leadership, and we're all leaders in this room. You lead your clients, you lead yourself, we lead a brokerage. And as a Keller Williams brokerage, we lead the industry. And in doing that, our job is not only to do the right thing, but to challenge how we think and how other people think. So when you change your thoughts, you change your actions. And one of the things that we need to think about is who gets a home. Right? Who gets a home? And when you look at the statistics, even to this day, 2024, it's startling. What a home does is provide security for people for today and for a legacy, right? So it's a way that you can get grounded, you can grow, you have potential when you have a home, you have a safety net, right? Not everybody has that. Homes provide access to generational wealth, schools, good paying jobs, security, all that good stuff. When there's a home ownership gap, it takes a toll on your community. And we all know our community is challenged by some things, right? We think in our industry, one of the things that we can do to help address some of those challenges is to close that home ownership gap. Home ownership gaps prevent 5 million qualified buyers from owning homes. And this gap I'm talking about is white ownership versus people of color ownership. Let's be really clear, okay? 5 million qualified buyers from owning homes. The toll that takes today and down the road just kind of makes my stomach drop. It's just blah. 800,000 jobs, 400 billion in tax revenue, right? Imagine what 400 billion could do for our state. These are the numbers right here. In the United States, 75% of whites own homes, 44% of blacks own homes. This is the gap we are looking to close. In Wisconsin, 72% of whites own homes, 26% of blacks own homes. This is a heavy lift for us. It's a lot of work. But man, if you want a cause, this is an amazing cause because it helps all of us. I'm a big believer in like you're as strong as your weakest link. And that's a weak link for us. That's causing challenges for us everywhere. So let's fix this, right? A year ago, some of our very own decided that they were going to take this into their own hands. You met one of the founders last week, Shawnee, our crazy gonger last week, if you were here. Girl doesn't know her own strength and ran some of us out of the room, but that's the energy she brings because that's the challenge she faces. 10 people a year ago got together and started having this conversation. How do we change this for people in our communities? This Friday, they had their meeting and they had a room full. I think 50 people showed up was what I last heard. This is gaining momentum. We are making a difference, and it is a cross brokerage community because efforts like these, you guys, we need all hands rowing in the same direction. So I don't care if you're with Compass or EXP or KW, we are leading the charge and we're inviting others to it. And we're going to close this gap because we have amazing people here and in this community. So for the culture, First Friday focuses on the barriers to homeownership for people of color and how we can overcome that. We saw those statistics in homeowners. That statistic is even worse when we look at agents. There are fewer, and I don't know exactly what the statistic is, but there are far more white agents than there are people of color. So as you guys are out there doing business, and you're running into people who like what you do and want to know how you do what you do, let's build the ranks and see how we can get them connected. And let's make a difference. So in fact, last week, Shar Borg joined us. There was one other gal. Angela Walters, right. These guys are icons in this field, and they're making a difference and they're pouring into us too. So great work, Shawnee and all of the group. So just wanted to highlight that for Black History Month, which is all of the month of February and frankly, every day. We should be elevating all of our people all the time. So that's one of our mission moments. And the second, last week, we gave a shout out to everybody who had served on our 2024 ALC. We had our first ALC of 2024. You know what I say? Congratulate the 23, welcome in the 24. I'm not going to invite them up here. We'll do that at the end of the year, but I want to remind everybody what the ALC does. We look at profitability, engagement, and growth. And I was just super energized as I left that meeting. We've got a group of people in the top 20% who are excited about pouring into this community and seeing how we can continue to grow. Everything that they're learning in their business, we're going to share with you so that I know that many of you in here have the goal of being in the top 20, of growing teams and growing your personal business. We can't want it more than you, but if you want it, we can help you get there. So thank you, ALC members, for plugging in. This is your 2024 ALC. And now that we've introduced here, 14 people, 7 returning from last year, 7 new folks on the panel. Dates are going out for this group in their meeting, but one of the things that this group does is provide feedback to us as a leadership team in terms of what's working, where our gaps are, and how we improve. So if for any reason you feel uncomfortable talking to me about something you'd like, or maybe it's just not convenient to me, I know my hours can be challenging sometimes, find one of these people and say, I'd like to see this, or what do you think about this, or how do we have a conversation about this? Because it starts here, accompanied by agents for agents. And we are looking to make this the #1 destination for agents in the area, and these guys help. So welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for your service. I can't wait to see what 2024 brings for all of us. Oh, you guys, and I apologize. You're going to get a lot of me talking at you today, but it won't be the whole time. So here's just a handful more announcements before we can kind of roll on. First of all, profit share 1099s should be available by now. It's 1/31. Well, they were available on 1/31. It's in February. We're in February now. So here's how you find them if you were not mailed a copy. And from what I understand, if you made less than $500 in profit share, you were not mailed a copy. You have to go get it yourself. So it is at mykw.kw.com. Select resources, then your profit share 1099 if you need to print this again. If you need help finding it, come find one of us. We can help you get there. Okay. Okay. I'm hearing people saying know how to get there. That's great. Good.
Sorry. my
That's
husband
good.
Was like, are they mailing them? Do we, I'm like, they mail them, but I know how to get them if we need them.
Perfect. So if you don't know how to get it, talk to Cherie. She knows how to get it. Ooh, thank you for that. All right. The 1099s that come from Keller Williams, Milwaukee Southwest have all gone out in the mail. You should have gotten one. If you didn't get one, speak to me, speak to Michelle. She worked tirelessly on this. So you should have gotten your 1099. You should get your expense report. Was there anything else that you pulled together for them? That's okay.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So nice, right? So nice. If you did not get one, if you're sitting in this room and you're saying, well, shoot, I can't find my taxes because I didn't get one, I trust you, the IRS is not going to believe that. So if you did not get your 1099, it's a chance that you moved or we have the wrong address or something went wrong. Talk to us. We'll make sure you get that because not having it is not a good enough excuse for them. Okay. Here's the other thing that's happening. One of the things that we have become aware of is that our agent invoices are increasing, and we want to be just very transparent with you about why that's happening and what you can expect February onward. So you all know our invoices are kind of they're a pass-through, right? What we get charged, we charge you, which is great when nothing goes up and challenging when things do. So here's why this is all happening. Our goal is that you are only paying for the things that we believe you need to run the kind of business that you want to run here, right? So there are so many different ways that agents, brokerages put together invoices. And one of the main ways that you'll see reflected on our monthly invoice versus some other brokerages' monthly invoices is that we do break down your E&O to a monthly charge. There are a lot of brokerages out there, maybe there are people in this room who came from brokerages like this, where you pay one E&O charge for the year, regardless of whether you're still there in December or January, right? We don't do that. We charge as you use it, basically, so it's broken down by month. Oftentimes, when people are comparing our invoice to other invoices, they say that our invoice is a little bit higher. That's why, because you don't get one invoice for E&O throughout the course of the year. Also happens to be one of the things that's stressing us. We've all come through that's stressing the expense on that. We've come from a litigious time, right? Waiving home inspections, cash deals, fast deals. Everybody's trying to get pieces together. There's just been an increase in lawyer interaction with us. So things have gone up, and that's part of why our invoices have gone up. One of the other things that has increased is technology expenses. So in total, and then at the same time, one of the reasons this looks so hard is that our MLS fee has also gone up. So right now we pay $142 in invoices. They're now going up $20 a month. So your total will be $162. Okay. And this has not changed. If you take that out directly, there's no additional charge. For some of the other market centers, they had a $5 credit card fee that's gone to a 3% fee. We've always done that. So that's no different here. So you guys, this is how this maps out. Our office, North Shore, Innovation, Lake Country, and Prestige all now have the same invoice because frankly, it's all the same that we offer you. Okay. So you should see this itemized on your February invoice. Again, if you have questions about this, please let me know. Charlie has also raised his hand and said, I mean, he knows all the ins and outs of how this all worked. He's happy to take conversation with you too. And let's just go sell more houses, right? Let's do this. Okay. Didn't want that to be a surprise to anybody. So there you go. That's what that is. And the last announcement, which, ooh, you guys, Did anybody pay attention last week? I think this was last week, Thursday. We just all have a big breath. This is a good thing that we're here. And one of the things that we didn't talk about much, this claim, the Sitzer suit that we settled, was a very local suit. The next one that's coming through the pipeline is coming out of the Illinois area. It's big, it's national, and it could be very, very expensive. Agents, brokerages, top teams were starting to get named in these suits, and these suits are not covered by E&O. So one of the things we know is that Gary Keller fights for us to keep the agent in front. Settling does not mean we change our practice. A standard is still a standard. I talked with somebody yesterday. They're like, I just need to get better at being comfortable charging what I charge. Yeah, you guys work way too hard to discount your fees. We will continue to help understand the value you bring so you can be comfortable standing in front of your clients and saying, this is what I charge. But we've settled the case and we are not open to continuing liability. We will not have to pay out. You guys will not be named in anything, which is great. And we can all just kind of put this, our business was going to change anyway. And that's okay. That's good. I mean, that gives us an opportunity to step forward and do what we do best and actually get paid for it. This protects us from some financial liability that we don't have anymore. Do you want to add anything?
How did you tell?
Well, you have a face.
You,
That's just his face, but
my mom loves my face.
great face, Scott.
I would say one big thing is that this protects us all from this point backwards. These lawsuits were dating back to like 1991. Some of us weren't even born, some of you weren't even born in 1991.
Good Lord.
And that's why they were totaling
I was legal then.
40, $4 or $5 billion, right? So this protects us moving backwards because agents were starting to get sued, and that is very scary. Because if you think about, hey, you could sue Keller Williams, well, they have a legal team that's pretty good. You could sue Keller Williams, Milwaukee Southwest, they have a legal team, it's pretty good. You could sue Joe Smo, one of the agents. We don't really know what to do. So who would you sue if you wanted money? You could sue that agent, and whether you're right or wrong, you still got to defend yourself. So this is a huge, you said breath of fresh air or whatever you said. Like when I saw this, I read into it, I was really, really happy. Because a lot of my job was dealing with that
Oh,
and the
100%.
repercussions and the fear and all of that. So
100%.
it's a big thing. If you're not with Keller Williams yet, it doesn't protect you, unfortunately. So it's just another reason why he is who he is.
Yeah, and I will say, I mean, hats off that the way this was navigated allowed us the opportunity to put agents first throughout the process. And this has been a big part of Scott's job, Charlie's job, my job, to keep this kind of in the background, to keep you focused on doing what you do. And we're pleased to take that. We're happy to to clear the way so you can build the business that you desire. And it's from top down, all the way at the very, very top. So you're in a good place. We got your back, and we can get on with defining our value as buyer's agents, because that's our opportunity, you guys. We have a huge opportunity. We'll be talking about that as we go. I would also really encourage you guys, I started talking about Chris Voss's book, The Full Fee Agent. I know our ALC is diving into that book as a guide on terms of how to kind of think your mindset around how we go about business in 2024. Strongly encourage you guys, if you're readers or listeners, dive into that. There's some really, really good actionable pieces, and certainly mindset in terms of how we show up as agents and the value that we bring. So there we go. Okay. Woo, I am done talking at you guys. Thank you for your patience. We're going to invite Dawn up here to have a conversation about how we keep you safe on a day-to-day.
Yeah, well, just minimize any lost stuff. I don't have a ton for you guys today. There were a couple questions last week with that new addendum O. Just kind of what should be the standard when we have that removal deposit that can be submitted with before closing, that like making sure that if you have post occupancy, that the seller will be moving out. So if you haven't looked through that new form yet, take a look through it. But we did confirm with Focus that they are able to hold that removal deposit. So let's say there's a $2,000 deposit, the buyer or the seller can, have Focus hold that, but Focus will not be able to make a decision about who receives that deposit afterwards. So they're not, same as with anything, they're not going to be saying like, oh yes, it looks like the buyer should get that or the seller should get that. So they're gonna wait for written direction to disperse those funds. And if parties can't agree, they're gonna need to seek legal counsel. So it's kind of like anything else with an addendum. Oh, once you close, your job is done. So make sure that when you're writing that up, that your client understands what their next steps are if there are any issues that they would need to reach out to an attorney. So you can't make a decision about who should receive that deposit either. If there's any questions as you're starting to use that form, like feel free to reach out to the compliance line. We'll make sure that we've got you guys covered with any questions. It may take us a little bit since it is a newer addition to the addendum, just to make sure like, how does this actually play out correctly? So give us that space to make sure we're giving you the right advice, but don't hesitate to reach out. So that's all I've got today. Yeah, question.
Can you expand on, or can someone expand on what type of written direction is going to be requested?
That's a good question.
So that we can maybe have something that's templated after, even though like it's after the fact, we can still at least maybe like let them know what form they should be using to mutually agree that, you know what I mean?
And I'll have to talk to Focus about what they would need.
Because we can't use a notice.
No,
It's
because
after.
you're already closed.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'll talk to Focus about what they would need.
Thank you.
Yep, my pleasure.
Either the attorney or the title, whoever's holding the earnest money or
The deposit.
Deposit.
Yeah.
But we could potentially just have something templated as well.
I'll find out. I'll find out for you. That's a good question. Just like how do we do it? It's new. We'll figure it out. We'll make sure it's good.
It's one of my favorite
Yeah.
phrases from John. We'll find out. She will find out. That happens. So stay tuned. We'll have more information for you. Thank you, John, for all you do for us, keeping us safe. Okay. Oh, you get me just for a little bit more, and then I'm gonna have Kathleen come up. This is super exciting, you guys. This magazine right here. You want to take a look? Maybe we can pass them on. So sexy, right? This is so cool. We're gonna be putting these in our closing rooms and at our front desk. Our gal Lindsay has been working on this for us. It's all things Keller Williams and all things statistics and the real estate market. Okay? And the reason I'm showing this to you is not because Keller Williams is amazing, although it is. The reason I'm showing this to you, pass it around. These are not for you to keep. We'll be gathering them. No sticky fingers, please.
Wait, oh, we can't.
Okay, but here's the question. Alex just asked the question, where does it say all in? Can you have a spot on your shirt? Alex was wondering, where does it say all in? The reason we're sharing this is because you have the opportunity to create one of these for you and your team with your stats that you can leave behind at listing and buying appointments. And I'm gonna let our expert talk about how that happens, because I just get to see the shiny finished product.
Yeah, so as you'll notice, as you're going through these magazines, that it's gonna go through a little bit about KW, our culture, our vision, our statistics. And then it's also gonna go through the 4-county metro Milwaukee area and break down by municipality. What happened in 2023 versus 2022, and you'll see a lot of green arrows pointing up, meaning that prices increased and sales increased and that sort of thing. So the great news is that we can completely customize these for you or for your team. It's all available in the marketing concierge on our kwrealtymke.com website. You'll find a link to be able to order one that we can customize for you with all your branding. So we can put your headshot, your logo, your bio page, your about me page in there. And then the preferred vendors on the very back of it is completely customizable for you as well. So think about who your vendor partners are. I believe we could put up to 6 on the back. So we can completely customize that information for you and your team as well. So once again, when you go to the marketing concierge, it'll be under the Community Pulse magazine. You'll find it kind of alongside the listing and the buyer presentations. There's these examples. We'll have the examples on hand here in the office, so you can always flip through it whenever you want, take a look at it and think about what you want to start to customize in it. If you would like to print out magazines so that you can take them to appointments, leave them behind at open houses, that sort of thing. Lindsay and the team at the Marketing Concierge can get you pricing information on the prints for those magazines. Okay.
Okay, before she dives in, you guys, this is a new effort for us, right? Super exciting. And just like every other first effort, there are different iterations that come along. So I was just telling Becca Jasperson sitting in the back there and everybody else who does business in the Racine Kenosha area, we will be adding that into here. Our office has specific sponsors that we love that may not be represented on here yet. So if there are other things that we want to see, those are the two things that we already know we'd like to see in the next iteration. If there are other things you'd like to see in the as this gets more and more use, let us know and we'll make sure that we get them integrated so that this best represents us and our efforts here. So, woohoo, shout out
And
to
then,
Lindsay.
yeah, she's worked really hard on this, guys, and that took a lot of effort. So it's really great.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Round of applause for Lynn. And then just as a reminder for the rest of February, what we're covering during our tech and marketing training, we're going to hone in on smart plans this week, and then we're going to dive into social media and your agent site later in the month.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. Thank you. This place is, we're gonna go over coming training and events down the road. I was talking to my coach this morning. And one of the things that he was asking about is how we do this office particularly on models and systems. As you guys know, I came in a little less than a year ago. And what I found was a group of people who knew our models and our systems, right? They were successful because they were implementing our systems. Hats off to this gentleman right here, because he knows these systems like he breathes, which I think is pretty good. I mean, he's a runner, he's a good breather. Good with systems.
I run, I'm not a runner.
Okay, well, this, yeah, okay. One of the things I'm hoping to do this year is to dial in on our systems again. It's not been my strength, I'll tell you, as a team leader. It's not something that we offered on as regularly, as in-depth as we did here. And as I look around, again, these teams are successful because they follow the model. And it's what KW is all about, is that you are successful because you follow a model. So thank you for being here. He's gonna share a little bit about the budget model mastermind, what that means for you, and hats off. Here we go.
Thank you. So I wanted to really revamp this mastermind that we've been running for, I believe, 5 years, right? Maybe it's 4 or 5. It kind of all blends together. Now, I took over as a regional director for Keller Williams, and really what that means is I oversee 21 market centers. I oversee 21 Dianas. Pray for me. I oversee, you know, the operating principles, and I had the last 90 days, I'm just in my 30, 60, 90. So if you just got hired in a role, like, it's crazy. I visited all 21 offices in 4.5 weeks, as well as did the things here and whatever. So I've been gone a lot, for those that may know me, and just whatever. But the great part about that is I got to see like the inner workings of 21 different Keller Williams. We have really good systems and models with this company. It's a franchise. So if you go into a Krispy Kreme's or a whatever, Wendy's, there's like 12 over here. Every time you go in, you usually get the same experience. You get the same menu, you get the same food, it's the same look. It's what Keller Williams is. However, a lot of that depends mostly on what? What is the X factor that you can't franchise? Or you can't? The people and the culture and the local leadership. And man, I have seen really good and I've seen some really bad. And I've seen it everywhere in between. And like this here, this isn't normal. I haven't seen this before. This is super cool. And it does help me appreciate what we have going on in Milwaukee, to be honest. We're a good collective bunch in terms of the 4 or 5 market centers. We work as a team, and it's not like that. Imagine if you're fighting with another KW, it's just, it can get messy. So a quick plug for, you know, Diana, for the Stollies, for the culture of what we're building here, because it's pretty amazing. So yeah, give her a round of applause.
What the area of our region is?
Yeah, so it's funny, because I'm not the regional director of our region that I'm in, right? The regional director, our region is Wisconsin, Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota, and Montana. So it's like huge. The only one bigger is Canada. So I am not their regional director, which is also kind of cool, because that would just be weird. But I run the region that is Illinois, Indiana. It's actually the lower part of Wisconsin where there are no market centers yet. So there will be one day. So really the role is like, I'm Diana for the region. Like I'm looking to grow, I'm looking to help a profit, I'm looking to help add value and everything. Now, what I've realized is there's not a lot of problems that the 4 models can't solve. The 4 models in the MREA. Who can name one of the, well, hopefully you can name one of the 4. Budget, economic model. So if you haven't read The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, and the reason why I know this so well is because I have read it more than 10 times and I've listened to it. And I look at this like a clock. The first thing you need to know is your economic model, because without that, everything else is worthless. Really, the economic model in a nutshell is how much money do you want to take home to your family, or to how much money do you want to take home? How much money do you want to net? Because we can all talk about gross commission income and profit, or not profit. We can talk about gross commission income and volume, and that sounds great, but it doesn't mean anything if you're not taking the money home. So you take what you net and you throw it through a series of conversions. How many closings is that needed? How many appointments do you need to have? How many appointments do you need to set? How many contacts do you need to make? That's the economic model. When you do that, let's just say you want to make, what's a fun number? Who wants to take home, throw me a number. What?
1 million.
Okay, I like it. So $1 million, what's the next question you have to answer? Ask yourself, what's the next model? If this is a clock, this is 12 o'clock. The lead generation model, Charisse, there's a reason why she's a cultural ambassador. She's on the ALC, because you kind of bleed this too. Do you bleed red? Good, I do too.
KW, right?
Yeah, nice. So the lead generation model is like, how many leads do I need in order to get $1 million? Like you'll need a lot of leads, right? What if you wanted to net $10,000? Could you imagine how many less leads you'll need to do that? I knew someone that the whole reason she got into real estate was to buy a hot tub, because her husband wouldn't let her buy a hot tub. And she straight up asked me, what's your goal? I want to buy a hot tub, and my husband won't let me. She sold 2 houses, bought a hot tub, and left. But like, clarity's power. So now what's the third answer you need to solve if you said, here's what I want to make, here's the leads that I want to get. Yeah, how much would it all cost, right? And then once you solve that, what's the last question?
Or
Which would be,
organization.
and what would the question be? Like, who do you need with you, right? And so these are the 4 models. And now, can you see the questions being different, or the answers being different? If you want $1 million, the leads you need, the budget you need, the people you need versus 10,000. And so if you're struggling with anything, well, real estate related, these 4 models will help you. It's all formulaic. And if you know these models and you still don't do it, then what do you need to be hitting the head with? It's like it's white, it's this. No, it's white, this one. The One Thing book. So you know what to do, you're just not doing it. That's one thing. Anyways, what I've noticed is that it's impossible to teach one of these without teaching it all. And I used to run a mastermind on each one of these every Wednesday. And then it went in like, holy cow, budget, org, They're so intertwined. And we're bringing back the budget model in a big way because it's been updated, it's been expanded, it's user friendly. And I will share the spreadsheet with you. It's embedded with videos. They're less than 5 minutes. And if you have questions, you just watch the videos, 1 or 2 at a time. Breathe, because numbers are hard. They can be hard, they can be overwhelming, but they don't have to be overwhelming. And it's going to be February 22nd. It's on Zoom. I'm also including the region. So this is going to be an ability to learn from a lot of people. So we've had some OGs in this. I would love it if you would stand up quick. You don't need to come up here, but if you could stand up quick and just, if you've been on this mastermind, stand up, stand up. So when I look at these people, what do you notice about the people that are standing up?
We're all short.
If you look at the top teams, the top groups, the top solo agents in the office, we're tracking our numbers and we're doing it at a very high level. And I'd love quick if you guys could just share like a little snippet, not all of you, but maybe whatever, like a snippet of what it's meant to you, the decisions that you've been able to have. And anyone can go.
I think the thing for us is you're making decisions with numbers and not feelings. You can literally look at where your business is, where it's going, and say you have an event plan that's gonna cost you $3,000 and you got 2 closings the month before. Maybe you shouldn't be doing the events that cost you $3,000. So that's been a big thing for us, is being able to actually see where we're going in real time with numbers and not with just, oh, this doesn't feel like we should be doing this, or we feel like we should be doing this, we have actually part of data.
Cool.
My job is to track the expenses and put them on the spreadsheet, and what is it, February 6th? Our stuff is at our CPA, our taxes are being calculated, because everything at a spot and it's calculated, and we are ready to go, because I'm not dilly-dallying and it's not March and I'm freaking out that we don't have our tax stuff ready. It's done.
You're your accountant's best friend.
Exactly.
You're also your body's best friend because you're not carrying the stress with you.
And-
Sharice?
So she's gonna live for forever.
I think something that I just wanted to touch on was a lot of times agents, they don't know when they should hire. They don't know like what that looks like from a monetary standpoint. And if you are following the models and you are tracking your expenses and you're knowing like, hey, I'm not spending too much here, or I'm spending not enough here, it's a good way to be able to tell you like, listen, I am at my threshold at this point. Like, this is when I'm going to bring a new hire on, because A, I can afford it, and B, I can see through these numbers because they tell a story, whether or not this is a good time for me to, you know, introduce something like that into my business, besides like the gray hairs and the heavy drinking and all of the things. But I think it's just, I mean, listen, I just can't speak enough about what the model has done for our business and for our family. And, you know, it's, if you're not doing it, and Scott will attest to this too, like numbers, they're not my thing. And I,
Yes,
I used to like freak out, like he would get random emails from me at all hours of the day about the budget model and like trying to understand the numbers and what it meant, how I could correlate that to my business and to my life. So sorry, Scott. But because I did make the commitment and I did learn the model, it really did change our business and like truthfully, our lives. So.
She was so out of her comfort zone. And if someone gets that willing to be outside their comfort zone, like let's make it happen.
Dude, I had sweaty
Yeah.
palms. Like, I was like, what's going on right now?
Cool. Yeah, Lisa.
So I figured out that you can buy sanity with profit. Once you know what your profit is, like when we started the budget model, I was doing really well as a solo agent. I was making like what, like 70 something?
I think it was 83%.
83% profit, and I was a completely miserable person. And so by knowing that, then, okay, I can hire someone. So I hired someone, I built a team, and then like, you know, the transition stuff, like, okay, because I know the budget model, and Dawn knows it, and Robbie knows it, we can like, you know, in talking about joining their team, we cracked out our budget spreadsheets, like, oh, what does this look like? Plug in this, plug in that. Like, you know, you can learn how to spend dollars that you make on sanity for yourself. And that was a really good lesson.
It's all there.
And I. Go see it.
These stories are my like poster children for this. When I'm teaching this to other offices, I use these examples. Did you?
Yeah, I just think, it's a good way to, obviously keep track of what you're doing. So that you know, at the end of the day, where your money is, and what you can cut out and what you can spend more on. And because, at the end of the day, you're like, I made all this money, where is it, And it helps you just keep it all on track and obviously budget better, but it's just a nice way to know what your business looks like and where it's going and where you want it to go.
And just add one thing too, like, it's not just for the teams either. Alex was on it when he was a solo agent, now he's got a team.
And Lisa and Dawn
And Nicole.
and Nicole. But you want it, I mean, that's what you want, and that's good, you know it.
For me, for being a solo agent, I mean, I learned through the budget model that I have the scarcity mindset. So the budget model for me gave me permission to spend money on the client event I never got afford, because I felt broke all the time. And budget model kind of showed you have money.
Yeah, what if you go to this and you get told you can spend money? Wouldn't that be fun?
I mean, it still doesn't really make me want to spend more money, but it gave me permission that I had to.
One more, Kim, yeah.
I wasn't sure if I should stand up, but I do run the spreadsheet for my team. And one of the things is that it's really easy to dream budget and be like, I can infinitely spend less and less and less on something. And so when you're just budgeting without that, it's easy to do that, as opposed to when we were projecting for this year, seeing the things that we spent on last year, that it would be crazy to imagine spending less in certain areas too. It helps you be more realistic about what you can cut out versus what actually is a required spending, because you really have to go item by item and track not just amount, but what exactly you're spending money on. So it helps you hold yourself accountable to a realistic idea of what things cost, and not just to the dream that things don't cost money, because things do, and it happens. So, it's really helpful for us.
Thank you guys so much. The two things I'll end with: one, if you commit to anything, when you get the email with the spreadsheet, just commit to watching 3 of the videos. It would be like 14 minutes of your time. And if you keep liking what you see, just keep watching them. And then if you like it more, show up to this. The second thing is, if you don't do this, I'm sorry, but you're not running a business. And if you don't have at least 201 people in your database that you constantly communicate with, you're not running a business. So these are the 2 things that are requirements if you want to run a business.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Love it. What a challenge. Okay, I was just taking a quick look, you guys. That budget mastermind is on the 22nd. Something else happens on the 22nd. You will see a lot of those people who stood up at our award ceremony right after that budget mastermind. So if you are not recognized in the area that you want to be, that's like we planned it that way. If you are not recognized in the category that you'd like to be recognized in the category at those award ceremonies, and everybody's coming to the award ceremonies, right? February 22nd, Thursday, right next door. Everybody's coming, everybody. Plug in. This is the way to do it. And oftentimes, you guys, we kind of dance around what you need to do. Scott's exactly right. You're running a business. What does that look like? Okay, so love that. We have a handful of other things. You are also running a business, which means that last question, right? Who do you need to make that work? And many of our folks are already building teams and want to grow their team. So we have a couple different opportunities for you to do that. The first is a great training. It's going to be at our innovation office. It is for anybody who thinks that they would like to run a team, but they are unsure what that means. Okay, it's not a commitment. You don't have to be a rainmaker. You don't have to say, I'm going to do this year. It's a fact-finding mission from people who have been there before you, right? So join us about what it is to build a team and what leverage is all about and systems and models. And then mark your calendars. Our teams across the KW Milwaukee universe are getting invitations to be part of Opportunity Knocks Monday, March 11th. That's going to be at the Zufari Conference Center. So if you were at Bold, it's going to be there. But all of our teams that are hiring, looking to grow, expand, are going to have, it's like speed dating, right? They're going to have a table there. They're welcome to share their value proposition. We are always looking for people both internally and externally that can benefit from this. So it is not KW exclusive. If you know folks that are outside who are like, oh man, I could be doing so much more if, right? This answers the if, right? This is the who. So Rainmakers, if you haven't yet gotten an invitation to that, let me know. We'll make sure you're on the list because we want everybody to have the opportunity to make connections.
And Tony and Sharice are gonna be on our panel on the 15th at the
What?
Innovation Office. Nice.
What? Awesome. Very, very good. Okay. Oh, I mentioned this already, you guys. Awards, February 22nd. Who's all going to be there? Wait, okay. All right. 3:00, please RSVP for us. And thank you for those of you who have RSVP'd also in the Agent Choice Award. That's fun. Fun to see. So also Tina has spearheaded an amazing opportunity. Within the KW, there are models and systems, and then there's communities, because once you're really successful, understanding what profit is and how you grow your profit, now you have to do something with it, right?
So we have started this KW investment group. We had our first class last, or I don't want to call it a class because it's not a class, it's a mastermind, but it was last month. There were 16 people and it's all different levels of investing. One person owns 44 doors and some people own none. We're coming together monthly just to meet, to talk all things investing, from lending ideas, property management, where are we finding deals. The energy in the room was really great. We have some people who are just starting, wanting to learn. We're going to be bringing in some experts in the industry to kind of talk and lead and guide us. We are grouped together on a Slack channel, so we're in constant communication. So now when we're finding off-market deals, we're putting them in the Slack channel, offering them kind of to our group at first and bouncing ideas off of each other. So we are looking to grow it. If you want to come, these are the dates, mark your calendars, and let's grow giant portfolios in 2024. Right on.
All right. And last thing here, family reunion. We're coming up. It's February at the end of the right after the awards that everybody's coming to. Super excited. In Vegas, there's still a handful of tickets left. If you're interested in joining, you've seen this before. Huh? Are any of them free? Investment, right? Come to the Budget Mastermind, figure out how to invest. If you can't afford it this year, let's get you there next year. Okay, this is how you plan. It's what we do. We look forward to having everybody there. And if you are going, I would love a quick few minutes with you after this meeting, just to kind of share where we're at and what you can expect in the next couple weeks. Good? Okay. Does anybody have any listings that are coming soon they want to talk about? Oh my God, this is usually when the room erupts.
Not a listing, buyer need. I have multiple, and I do mean like close to a dozen cash investing buyers ready to buy something that needs value add. Inventory is dry right now. I know there's a lot of agents who are sitting on properties that are kind of ugly and, you know, maybe they're putting them off until a later time to bring them forward. If you have any sort of rundown or value add opportunity property that you don't know what to do with, please send it my way. We put something off market, close in 7 days, cash no contingency. Anything, it's dry right now.
Thank you.
Ugly kitchen, ugly bathroom, literally anything, that adds value to it.
What else needs to be ugly about it?
Tony, Mind Right Realty.
Yes, Tony Greco, My Right Realty.
Right, who are you? Who are you? One more time.
You guys all hear me?
I did not.
Gene Greco, Lender Realty Group. Hi, okay, so we have a property that's launching next week, Thursday on North Seventh Street. It is a 3-bed, 2 full bath, 1,300 square foot, bungalow. It'd be listed at 99.9. Potential good investment opportunity, or owner occupied. We have an off-market property on South 124th Street, New Berlin, 379.9. It is a 3-bed, 1.5 bath, approximately 1,700 square foot, colonial, or Cape Cod actually. And then we've got a property on South 98th Street, around 200,000, 4-bed, 1.5 bath in West Dallas. And then I just got another one. They're not looking to technically list until May, but they'd be open to put together an off-market opportunity. In Waukesha, 3-bed, 2 full bath on about a half an acre, 2-car attached garage around 430. So that's what I got.
Okay. Tony's got all the inventory.
Got them in my pocket.
Does anyone else have any inventory? Really?
Jeez.
We're good? All right, well, let's go get some inventory, you guys. Go have an amazing week. Thank you for being here. Crush it. If you're going to do it, come up front.
I think she's gonna come back next week and grab along me and make that and buy the. I'm not gonna.